Hello, I'm Martyn Warwick and I'm talking with Faraz Syed, who is the CEO and co-founder of DeviceAnywhere. Faraz, we've met before in London.
Yes, we have.
Where we talked about your company before and what you do, and pretty impressive it was too. I enjoyed doing it. We're in a different situation here, so please, let's begin with, tell us about the company and what you do.
So DeviceAnywhere is a 6-year-old private company headquartered in California, and we provide a system for remote access to physical handsets for manual and automated testing of mobile applications. As you may know, in the mobile world, we have hundreds, even thousands of different mobile handset models. And testing is one of the big things that happens in mobile because of the fact that each handset is a different platform. And we have created a solution that provides online access to thousands of handset models to a global community of mobile application content developers. And that's what DeviceAnywhere is in a nutshell.
What are the current trends in testing?
So one of the big things we've been seeing over the last year or so is a growing demand for testing on the more complex handsets, which are basically more smartphones. And some of that is driven by, obviously, the successes of platforms like the iPhone and the anticipated success of the Android platform and so on and so forth. But then, of course, the Windows Mobile SIM and all of the above. So we're seeing a lot more testing on the smartphone platforms, as well as just a sort of an explosion of just mobile applications from mainstream companies coming out because mobile content applications are getting more mainstream in a sense.
Okay, thank you. We'll talk about the current economic circumstances in more detail in a minute, and you don't need to address that just with this question. But what challenges face service providers generically?
It's a very, very interesting question. One of the things that these service providers and handset manufacturers together are focusing on, realizing that there's a growing trend and they can get a lot more revenue, and there's revenue to be had in the future from mobile content and applications. Maybe that's where a majority of revenue might start coming from in the next years. They are embracing openness. They're embracing the concept of providing more content, more options, more choices to their consumers. Now, that comes with a challenge of making sure quality and security of your consumers is not compromised and is maintained, because at the end of the day, the consumers are still the customers of the mobile operator or the handset manufacturer, right? They're still their customers. And so I think the big challenge facing is the service providers is around ensuring the safety and security of their consumers, in spite of exposing these consumers to a huge number of mobile, offerings.
Thank you. Same question, more or less, about challenges facing. But what are the challenges in implementing test solutions in an environment which is moving so quickly?
So that's basically a connection to the previous answer, if you will, is that while there's a tussle, there's a tension, right? Because there is a growing number of mobile applications and content available. In fact, it's massive. It's exploding because consumers want it, and everyone is happy to provide that to the consumers because there's money to be made. Then there are challenges of maintaining security and quality. That means there's a huge amount of cost implications associated with implementing a testing system, and the goal has to be and should be, how do you manage the cost while keeping the quality high? And so I think the biggest challenge in implementing test solutions to ensure the high quality is around cost containment as well as delivery.
Brilliantly led into the next question, which is what we talked about briefly before, the current bad economic circumstances the world finds itself in. Everyone always, for any service provider, telco, or whatever it is always looking to mitigate risk and to reduce cost. How can testing tools help in a specific time such as we're in now? Very, very hard times indeed. How can it help in this difficult economic environment?
Right. So typically, or traditionally, let's say, the approach these service providers may have taken towards providing a test solution is, if everyone was feeling very healthy and prosperous, they would go hire bodies, they would hire people, they would say, okay, we're going to staff up a huge team of people who will validate every piece of content application coming through our doors to ensure we deliver the right quality to the consumer. That's a very expensive proposition, very slow. I mean, it has a whole number of challenges associated with it. One is cost, the other is it is a bottleneck. And because of the bottleneck, your stuff doesn't get to market fast enough. I mean, that's a huge problem. So the way they can solve both of those challenges is to try to disseminate the responsibility of testing back to the providers of the content while maintaining some sort of a gate of quality, which might be just superficial checks, but they have to be smartly done. So I guess what I'm saying is, instead of the traditional approach of hiring bodies and bodies of people to do the testing manually, transitioning over to testing tools in a way that the testing can be pushed back to the providers of the content with proof being submitted with that testing is really going to help these operators, service providers, reduce their cost but still maintain a high quality. And then implementing more rigorous processes like certification programs, proof-based certification, test automation, constant monitoring of quality, but using more automation and less people. I mean, that's really the way to solve the cost issues in today's economic environment.
Okay, now, DeviceAnywhere works in partnership often with HP. What do the two of you bring together that you don't bring singly? What do you bring to the market that's different?
So, HP has a long standing of being the market leader in desktop-based test tools and test management frameworks. And not just desktop, but just test management frameworks. The Quality Center product is the market leader in that space, and then they have automation tools and such. A very interesting trend that we are seeing, that we have seen over the last couple of years, is that more mainstream companies, more enterprises, and of course the mobile operators themselves are getting into providing more applications, more content. And that means that the huge embedded base or the huge customer base or the huge customer base that HP has is getting into mobile. Now, DeviceAnywhere happens to be by far the market leader in the mobile testing space. So the combination of the two puts into the hands of the customer the best of breed for both the desktop testing solution as well as the mobile testing solution, and of course HP's state-of-the-art, market leader test management framework. So the combination has been very well received in the market. Because of this best of breed approach.
Final question to you. Put your look into the crystal ball for a minute. What next for testing? Where is it going to go?
So, what we think is happening and will happen in the future is you may have seen some of this around in the show as well. Is there's a significant trend around application stores. There's a snowball effect almost. More and more application stores are being launched, and our anticipation is that it's not just going to be the handset manufacturers or the platform providers. It'll be, in some shape or form, all the service providers will have some sort of an offering direct to consumer. And again, that leads back to one of the earlier questions around, well, there will be application stores, means more content, more applications, means more testing, but testing done in a way that keeps the openness there but keeps the quality high. So in terms of trends for testing, we anticipate that there will be an implementation of more self-regulated certification and testing programs that the developers and the providers are responsible for, but maintained and sponsored by the channels to market, if you will, which would be the service providers, the platform application stores, and so on and so forth.
Faraz Syed, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.